Hey, this is Tama. Today we're going to talk about whether carbonated drinks are bad for acid reflux. This is a tricky topic because sugary drinks are not the same as carbonated drinks. For example, this just has carbonated water and natural flavor. Now, anytime it says natural flavor, that is probably not very healthy for you. Tastes good though. Drinking soda is quite a bit different than drinking carbonated waters because soda is really full of sugar, like spoons and spoons and spoons full of sugar. You can just dump sugar in all the time and you just keep pouring. You'd be like, oh, how much sugar? How much of this? Oh, is that much sugar? Oh, you know what? We need more sugar. No more. Is there still some? Yeah. Okay, this part can be liquid and this part's sugar. It's like really crazy. If you drink things that are really high in sugars, especially processed sugars, just plain old white sugar, or even worse, high fructose corn syrup. We won't get into why it's worse right now, but it's worse. What's gonna happen is that simple sugar is really great at feeding the bacteria in your stomach. The problem is, and your whole gut, and the problem is if you have some bad bacteria in there, those are the ones that are gonna eat the sugar the most. So your nice little probiotic bacteria cannot compete when you're dumping acidic, sugary drinks on them. They're like, oh, why is it so acidic? And the H. pylori is like, yeah, we got this handled. It's got its little biofilm to protect it from the acids, no problem. So anyway, the sugar is really bad for your health. It causes a lot of inflammation, and it also feeds the bad bacteria, which we really don't want. So what else is bad about sodas is that they are really acidic, and so not only does it erode your teeth, it also erodes your esophagus. And especially if you have pepsin on your esophagus and you're pouring acid onto the pepsin and you're activating the pepsin with that soda, you're just doing that all day long, yeah, of course you're getting worse and worse acid reflux. You're pouring acid onto your esophagus. Like, the problem is that it's coming up from your stomach and putting the pepsin there. But once the pepsin's there, you're causing the problem by drinking soda and just pouring acid right on your own esophagus. Don't do that. So a secondary question is the carbonation itself actually bad for acid reflux? Well, this is a little bit trickier because actually the carbonation will introduce gas into your esophagus. See the little bubbles? Those are gonna need to come back up because they don't wanna stay in your stomach. The gas does not belong there. Oh, so many bubbles. The carbonation, however, can be kind of helpful if you already have a lot of gas building up in your stomach from a bacterial overgrowth. So if you have H. pylori, it's creating all of this hydrogen and it's building up and it's causing the same thing as when you drink the carbonated beverages. I keep saying beverages. So when you drink a carbonated drink, sometimes it makes you burp because that carbonation has to go somewhere. It doesn't really want to be in your stomach. It wants to be released, and your stomach doesn't really want it. The same thing happens when the gut bacteria produces its own hydrogen gas. Gas is released, and that goes through your LES, and then your LES might stay open because there's too much pressure in your stomach. So it's keeping that valve open, and then the acid from your stomach gets squeezed up into your esophagus because the valve is open. It's just like sitting there doing nothing. It's hanging out because there's so much pressure that it's just kept open. So sometimes if you drink carbonated water, sparkling water, maybe with a little flavoring, but no sugar, what you can actually do is you drink it, and then, maybe after you drink some of it, you start feeling that pressure. You learn to release the pressure by burping, but have it controlled. So when you're the one in control of it and you can release the pressure, not only are you releasing the pressure from the carbonated water, but also from the gut bacteria that are pressurizing you with hydrogen gas or whatever else. So then your LES can actually close because it's depressurized now. Your stomach isn't just forcing itself up, forcing the gases through. Now the gases have left, and now the LES can close. So that's actually a really good thing. And I think that, I haven't read any studies about this, so this is just my personal opinion, but I read this online and tried it myself, and I really think it worked. So what you do is you just, you drink the carbonated water, and then you strengthen your LES by holding in the burp. You hold it in, and then when you're ready, you let it go. I can't do it again. I need more water. And so that, in that way, you're learning to open and close your LES on purpose, which is actually extremely useful. So it's like training your muscles. Just like when you do other things, you can also learn to open and close your own LES. And burp on purpose, but otherwise keep it nice and tight and closed. So I think that's really useful. Your mileage may vary on that one, but definitely I think it's worth trying out. So let's see if I can do it again. And now there's no more. I can open it back and there's no more. So now I know, I'm not pressurized anymore from the carbonated water, and I have learned. You have to kind of practice and learn how it feels to open it and close it back up again. So all that time while I was talking to you, I was holding it in. I could feel the pressure build, but it wasn't just popping out of me. I would decide when I wanted to come out. And that is kind of a useful exercise. Just like lifting weights, you're teaching your muscle to do something. This is the same. You're teaching your LES to stay nice and tight until you allow it to open. And that's useful. Especially if you have a lazy LES, which if you have acid reflux, you probably do. There's also some supplements you can take that really work, and especially if you're vitamin D deficient or something else. But we'll get into that. There's so much to this thing. That there's a reason that so many people get acid reflux and then can't get rid of it. It's really complicated. There's a lot of things you can do for it. My plan, and the plan that I teach to other people, is to just do everything at once. Because who cares what part of it actually heals you when it first starts working, when you first stop having symptoms. Who even cares? And then you just go through kind of experimentally and figure out what were the things that worked and that you need to continue, and what were the things that that may or may not have helped, but now that my esophagus is working correctly, my LES is working correctly, the damage is healed, my stomach has the proper bacteria. Okay, now what needs to continue, and now what just doesn't really matter anymore. So instead of going on wild goose chase trying to figure out oh, is it my bacteria? Or, oh, do I have a loose LES? These are complicated things. The doctor's office can't even really tell you which one is your problem, and they don't deal in bacterial imbalances. They'll give you a bunch of antibiotics, which may or may not make you better, and if they don't make you better, they make you significantly worse. So, and then the PPIs that just shut off the acid. No, your body needs that acid. So, moral of the story is just do everything you can all at once. Get your gut and your esophagus working correctly, and then figure it out after that. And then you'll be calm and feeling good, and it's a lot easier to deal with oh, what was causing this? When actually you're not in crisis mode. Your body is not having a literal crisis. So, check it out. I've got a book that describes everything I did and goes through the process that you can use to do all of the things you need to do to eliminate acid reflux. And subscribe here. I've got lots more topics to share, and I'm going to be making tons and tons of videos. I'm really psyched to help you guys, and we got to get rid of this acid reflux thing. We got to do it. All right? I'll talk to you guys soon.